And now to the big national topic that has ramifications right here in San Diego. The Supreme Court hearing arguments over the fate of billions and billions of dollars in student loan debt. Let's go now to ABC 10 News anchor Kimberly Hunt, who is live in the college area previewing tomorrow's arguments. Kimberly, the court's decision could change people's lives.
Absolutely, Wale. And thank you. I am live here at San Diego State University. The Supreme Court is set to hear arguments for and against President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. If you remember last year, Biden used a 9/11 era policy known as the HEROES Act to try to cancel roughly $400 billion in student loans over the next 30 years. But legal challenges stopped the plan in its tracks. And the plan, if allowed to move forward, would see millions of student loans reduced or wiped out altogether. And it's not just those who have already graduated. Current students, such as college students, could qualify, which could affect many students right here at San Diego State University and colleges around San Diego. And we'll hear from some of them in just a few moments, although you heard from one just a second ago. But first, ABC's Justin Finch previews those arguments.
A core campaign promise of President Biden now under pressure.
Our student loan program is designed to give just a little more breathing room.
But is that program legal? The Supreme Court now poised to hear oral arguments beginning Tuesday. Biden's federal student loan forgiveness plan would cancel up to $20,000 for some borrowers earning less than $125,000 per year, or households with less than $250,000 in income per year. Across the country, the financial futures of 43 million borrowers now hang in the balance. ABC's Devin Dwyer asking one borrower,
why is it that you think that the government should pick up that tab?
I think that everyone has a right to say how their taxes are being spent. I feel like taxes are for the greater good, and this is for the greater good.
The High Court taking up two separate lawsuits filed by two borrowers and a group of 6 Republican-led states, arguing the president's plan is an illegal abuse of power and is unfair to some borrowers.
People knew what they were doing when they signed it, and they should pay it off.
But the administration argues the president has the authority to carry out his campaign promise, using executive authority under the pandemic emergency. The latest Quinnipiac poll shows a majority of Americans back Biden's loan forgiveness plan. Roughly 1 in 6 adults carry some federal student debt. 26 million borrowers have already applied for debt relief. 16 million were approved for cancellation. And the High Court's decision could hinge on the state of Missouri, home to the nation's largest student loan servicer. Attorneys have argued Biden's plan could reduce that servicer's revenue and eventually jeopardize state funding for Missouri's public colleges and universities. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Earlier, we spoke to San Diegans about whether they want to see student loan debt forgiven. And some people support the idea, while others said it would be unfair to those who didn't go to college.
I'm 28 now, and my goal recently has been to save for a house or a condo. So that would help a lot, expedite that process. So yeah, that's I think that's a big problem for a lot of people right now. It's just everyone is renting because they can't really buy, so that would help a lot.
If we forgive everyone, it's like someone has to make up that slack. Someone has to be the one that takes over that debt forgiveness. So it could be the person that never went to college or the person that never went to school who now has to use their taxpayer dollars.
Coming up at 5:30, we'll hear from current college students about how their lives would change if student debt is forgiven. Plus, a financial attorney tells us about how difficult a case this may be for the Supreme Court to rule on. But for now, Wale, back to you.
Kimberly, thank you so much. It's a very controversial issue with a lot of opinions on it. Thank you, Kimberly.